What's poppin', people?
What's poppin'?
The producers pushed us out a minute before time. I guess he said, let's go so we can get out of here.
Let's get it.
Let's get it, y'all. I'm your boy, Pastor J.
And I'm your girl, Lady Free.
And we are Shift Real Talk.
In the building.
In the building. Listen, y'all, please, man, subscribe, and share. We are now on 105.1 FM radio. Our show comes on Sunday nights, Sunday evenings at 7:00. So we thank God for that opportunity.
And we also on other platforms. We're on Spotify.
Yes.
We're on we Apple Music.
Yes, we are.
We are on what else?
Everywhere.
Google.
Yeah, we are
wherever
all
you
your
are,
listening
that's
platforms.
where we are. So if you want to listen to us, you can definitely.
Even working on our Roku channel, so we can be on Roku TV and stuff like that. So
let's get this all around the world.
We're doing part 2 of last week's.
Am I with a narcissist?
Am I
part
with
2.
A narcissist?
Part 2.
It's a C with a
narcissist. This was a topic last week that kind of spilled over. We had to come back and do this second episode.
Yes. First, before we move on, man, we just want to tell everybody Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.
These are special times for us to have opportunity to spend time with your family. Listen, y'all.
Absolutely.
Spend time, enjoy these moments with your family, because you never know. You just never know. You just never know, man. So just enjoy the time with your family, man. This is dear to my heart. Yesterday was my mom's birthday, man. She been gone for over 20 years now. And yesterday was her birthday. Still touches my heart, you know what I'm saying? Because I miss her dearly, and then this weekend, it marks 2 years. 2 years for me, man, since I've had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And, man.
November's a month, huh?
November's a month, man. So my mom's birthday, man, the anniversary of the heart attack that I had, man, that traumatized me. But I thank God that God spared my life, man.
Still here.
That I'm here. And I promised that every day, man, that I would live for him and do what he's called me to do. So with that being said, y'all, we're going to delve into this. And those of you who want to tune in, you're going to catch up with us. And, catch up.
Yeah. And make sure you put something in the chat. Put something like I shifted in the chat so we'll know that you in there. Put something in there so we'll know we can give you a shout out that I shifted. All right, so today our topic, as we said, is Am I with a Narcissist? Part 2. Last week we just kind of went over what a narcissist is, because so many people just throw out of their mouth, you a narcissist, because they see characteristics in a person that they're in a relationship with that they don't like. But everybody's not a narcissist. As a matter of fact, we found out last week that 0.525% of people in the United States of America are diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. That's a very small number. Plus, out of all of those very few people, 75% were considered to be males. And they have a scientific reason for that, too. We're not going to get into that. But we're going to find out, so what a narcissist is, what narcissists are attracted to. You have to go back to last week's episode to find those two things out. But today we're talking about 3 different types of narcissists. Now, like I said last week, I kind of came up with the names of them myself.
Came up with the name.
But we're going to talk about them.
Hey, Mama Cheeks, we love you and
Mother
miss you.
Cheeks, hello, I shifted, absolutely.
Yes. And guess what? Our Cowboys still going to make the playoffs, Mama.
That's right. How about those Cowboys?
Yeah.
All right, so do you want me to go over a few things just to recap from last week?
I am following you.
All right, so we're not going to get too deep into it. We're not going to go into discussion about it. But these are some characteristics of a narcissist. Mm-hmm. You find them in the very beginning of the relationship, love bombing. They'll string you along. They'll lure you with excessive affection and attention. You're that perfect person for them. They make you feel so special and adored. They manipulate by idealizing their victims. Idealizing means they make you out to be like this great, grand person. Like, if it wasn't for you being in my life, I don't know what I would be. You like perfect for me. Then they mirror their interests. If you tell them your situation, they'll know exactly how to mirror their interests as it pertains to yours. They project fantasies onto their victims. I'll give you the world. They foster deep but false connections. So that's why you got to give it time. Pay attention. Once trust is established, they begin to devalue the victims, causing confusion and insecurity. It'd be like, am I crazy? Like, is something wrong with me? All right. And then they discard their victims, or they cycle through phases of idealization and devaluation. So you'll be involved in a cycle, in a loop. First they want you, then they don't. Then they want you, then they don't. All right? And it causes significant psychological and emotional damage in those who are involved in these type of relationships, who are the victims of these relationships. Now, we also learned last week, narcissists, they target these type of people. We're just going to talk about 3 different type of people that these narcissists target. Their victims are certain people. They seek people who are very attractive, extremely beautiful or shapely, wealthy, has status, power, and have some form of celebrity. They're very confident. And you also find that some go on the opposite end of that extreme, and they try to find people who are very strong in their personality, but you could tell they're very, what do you call it, babe? They are insecure. They're insecure, but they have a lot of other strong qualities, okay? Mm-hmm. This person will make them feel valuable. So if you're that person, you would make a narcissist feel valuable because you're this grand person and everything, and then it adds value to them. They are quick to reveal their sad story very, very early. They're quick to reveal their sad story to see who will bite. Because you have some people who are people who need to rescue. They're called rescuers. And then you have some people who are very empathetic. They're called empaths. They will say how they were abused, like no one loved them. I do so much for so many people and nobody cares about me. How mistreated they were and all of that stuff. And they do this to see if you, like I said, an empath or are you a rescuer. They also do this to see who will buy what they are selling for the price of their own lives, usually. Okay, you got to pay your own life for that. The last one is they will talk reckless to see if you will stick around. They are looking for you to lift them up and refute their negative image, what they say about themselves. Like, man, I know I ain't nothing, man. I'm a dirtbag. Man, yeah, I know I'm trash. Just to get people to, no, you not. You ain't like that. That's not you. I see great things about you. And vice versa. This is a form of manipulating you into praising them, even if you see their bad behavior. You will hear them say things, okay, I already said that, like, I ain't crap, I know I'm a screw up, everybody knows I'm a or whatever that blank is.
Hey, how you doing, mind-provoking? Mother Carolyn, hey, how are you?
Mother Carolyn, mind-provoking. We got Cynthia Lair on the line. Hello, love.
Yes.
All right, so basically that was a recap.
Yes. Good. So let's move on.
All right. Now, today, part 2, we are talking about 3 different types of narcissists. The first one we're going to be talking about is the covert narcissist. I'll call them the peekaboo narcissists. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So,
do tell.
This person has a public persona that is totally different from their private persona. When they're in public, they're smooth. They're very charming, gentlemanly like, or the female is very, nice and all of that. And then as soon as you get back home behind closed doors, it's a whole different person.
Yes. Hey, Vanessa, how you doing?
Peekaboo. I see you. Okay. All right. Another one is another characteristic of a peekaboo narcissist is they express bad behavior like anger and rage and totally deny it. Like they'll make it seem like that you tripping because I wasn't mad. Yes, you were. I know what mad look like.
You
But
do.
if they do it enough, then they'll make you start believing that maybe I'm the one tripping. Maybe I thought they was being like that, but they really wasn't.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one thing that a covert does. Um, criticizes you and then tries to pass it off as concern. They'll criticize you. I mean, I'm just looking out for you. I mean, put you down. And you know something in that don't feel right, but then they'll pass it off as they just trying to look out.
So do you believe? This is a question for you guys. Do you believe that I see this happen a whole lot. You know, we attract certain things. You know, when we're in a low place, we attract
Broken things.
broken things.
Yeah.
So, do you believe being in the places that we in, that we're like targets for people who are narcissistic or people who are preying against our vulnerability? Do you believe and trust, or not trust, but do you believe that we can, from with the place that we are in, attract these kind of people?
I think yes, because I'm the first one to say that when you're broken, you make broken decisions.
Yes.
However, no, there's no however. I believe that. I believe that when you're in a low place, the decisions you make, the people that you choose to be in relationship with, even the jobs, like friends around you, everything is lower than when you are in a healthy place. And then as you grow, let's say you get to the place of health and you look around and you like, man. And then people start saying, oh, you changing, or you acting funny, or, but no, it's just that I'm not in that place anymore.
So this is why it's important, because how the Bible says this: how can two walk together except they agree?
Mm-hmm.
So, wow. So even in your broken place, you can come into agreement.
Wow.
You can come into agreement with someone who is broken, or someone who has these characteristics.
Right.
So that's why we really have to check what we're agreeing with, because if we attract this, then that means that we are in a place where we should not be.
We shouldn't be in a relationship at that point. Like not
even the fact that shouldn't be in a relationship. We shouldn't be in that place, because we agree on this low place. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because like it said earlier, if you are a rescuer, usually a rescuer is someone who, when they were a child, they wish somebody had rescued them.
Yes.
So that means that indicates that there was some form of abuse in your growing up, in your childhood as you begin to grow up. So you it's like, I wish somebody would have rescued me, and you have the feeling that you felt when you were not rescued, and you take that into adulthood, and now someone comes along who is a narcissist, and they're looking for someone who's a rescuer, and your desire to save the world or save everybody will cause you to be drawn to someone or stick around when that person talking they reckless talk, and it's like you're there because they've told you their sob story, and now it's like, oh my God, I just really have to be there for them, because not only are they telling you their sob story, they're also still charming, and they're also, in the beginning, they love bumming you. They tell you how beautiful you are, how perfect you are, and all of that stuff. So all of that plays into that same time frame before things blow up.
Let me read this comment real quick. She's mind-provoking. I miss you, girl. She said, when one does not fully get to know themselves and fall in love with themselves, one opens themselves up for a door that should have never been opened.
Right.
Mama Cheek said, yes, we'll even excuse our guards that come up a way to please them.
Wow, you know what? Yeah, the guards that come up, we'll excuse them. You're right, Mama Cheeks.
That's the place. And yes.
Wow.
Yes. Maria K. Hi. I highly recommend a great hacker named HimHack. He will help you. What?
Okay, yeah, that's something.
Okay,
else.
Maria K. Thank you. Appreciate you.
We might need to read the messages first before we start reading them out loud.
What? I highly recommend. What that, Maria? What that got to do with the topic we talking about tonight?
So,
we talking about a topic,
right. So, another thing that a covert narcissist would do,
don't nobody click onto this link, please, y'all. I don't care what you do, Maria K. If I gotta have a way to delete you, I would, but don't nobody click onto this link.
Oh yeah, our engineer, he gonna work it out.
Yeah.
He gonna work it out. That's spam. Okay.
Man, actually, we're gonna pray for you, Maria, right now. We're gonna pray that you stop in Jesus' name. Whoever Maria, you coming in Maria's name, but we come in Jesus' name.
Hey,
we bind you up right
in
now.
In the name of Jehovah.
She said, I recommend a great hacker named Him Hack. Girl, okay, I'm gonna give you
please don't give energy to that.
But I want to give.
Too much of our time.
I want to give her a name of a greater hacker. The great I am.
You a mess.
He's the greatest hacker.
All right, so let's go back into this because people are here because people want answers, and we have some people here who are willing to help others as well. Okay, so they play the victim. This is the peekaboo one. They play the victim when they're exposed, when they're put on blast or they feel attacked. They play the victim. It's like, I've shown you how great I am. I was loving you and everything, and now all of a sudden you're trying to say it's me. It's not me. Something's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with me. And they'll play the victim. Right. And a lot of times people fall for the covert narcissist too because they play the victim. And they usually get people to see that they need them to make them feel better about themselves. And people are so quick to come to the rescue of a victim. So, yeah, we got to make sure we watch out for that, those that play the victim.
Wow.
Because the key word is play.
Check this out. I got to read this.
Okay.
Mind-provoking, you're absolutely right. But he can't win. But Tanya Marie said... Tanya Marie, I'm sorry. She said, escaping narcissistic abuse was one of the hardest yet most empowering journeys of my life. The constant manipulation through gaslighting, emotional withholding, and relentless blame left me feeling lost and doubting my own worth. For so long, I suffered in silence, battling self-doubt, anxiety, and deep emotional pain. Come on, y'all. Thankfully, with this support of a skilled team from Facebook here, I reclaimed my life. They uncovered the truth by accessing critical documents, providing me with the clarity and strength to move forward. If you're experiencing similar challenges, know that help is available and you don't have to face this alone. That's right. I promise to share this testimony if this works out, which it did. Amen. Come on, right.
Amen. Now, there is a link there. Unfortunately, Tanya, we recommend people not click on links. But if
only because a hacker just got on here. You know
but if there is a website or something that you would like to put up, that people can go to a website or something like that.
Yeah,
that
we just
would
had a hacker just kind of
a lot better. So
basically, but anyway, that is so true. And it's true because a lot of times, and like I said earlier, it's from the place that we come from, the low place that we're in. There is no self-love that we. I always tell people before you even get in relationships, know who you are. Know who you are. And I tell people this all the time. It's unfair for you to have somebody to love a person that you don't even know yourself. Mm-hmm. So if you don't have that love, I promise you, for yourself,
right?
If you don't have that love for yourself, because at the end of the day, I mean, you gotta love you, and if you love you, then whoever gives you an idea of the love that you know better. You know that that's not love. Because you love yourself, and you know that if you can't treat me better than what I treat myself, then this shouldn't be. Right. But a lot of times, because we're looking for that validation and we're looking for that, we stay in situations longer than we should.
Right.
We stay in that situation with the hope and the false pretense that the situation to get better, or this situation may help me to get better.
Right.
But that's still a low place, and again. Like I said earlier, it's how can two walk together except they agree? So the thing is, you have to be in the you got to really get yourself together with God. That is so important. You got to really get in the Word, get in the Scriptures, get in and understand who God purposed you to be. We've been created a royal priesthood. We've been created in His image. So we've been created to be like Him.
Right. And, it's interesting because we don't really understand the gravity of what happens like when we're children and there's no father in home. And I hope this is not segueing away from the topic, but we need to really pray that God bring the fathers back in the homes, because it seems like once that father was disrupted and taken out of the home, then there was a certain covering that children and women were
That protection.
lacking, that
Yeah.
protection. So therefore, there's a lot of things now where mom don't have as much time because she has to work and she has to do this and then this and it, all kind of
Well,
things are
that's what
happening.
happened. That happens
And you
with
don't get the love and the attention that you need growing up. You feel dismissed sometimes. Sometimes you may feel abandoned because situations happen or rejected. And if you feel those things, depending on how you absorb those feelings and how long you keep them, not understanding the reason why God probably allowed you to go through the situation you went through was someday to help somebody, not to stay in
but
your pain,
but
then you
understand
will
this.
be broken.
But
And you'll
understand
look,
this.
let me just finish
I'm
this
sorry.
statement. And then you will look for people in relationships to fill the voids that you wish were filled when you were a child.
Understand this. According to some of the greatest psychologists, they study behavior, and mind development starts at the conception. The mind is developing. So that means even from that's why it's so important that we do, especially when we conceive children, the best thing to do, and I recommend this, we were worrying about abortion, and but the thing is, a lot of people, I said, were having intercourse before they're married. So if you are in a relationship where you're not married and you're conceiving a child, and you guys are really not together, and there's no commitment, there's no plan for marriage, and there's no plan for a lifetime commitment, you run the risk of developing a mental confusion, because the mind development happens at the conception. So as while the baby is in the womb, the mind is developing. So in other words, if the mother is going through something, and if the mother and the father is not together, or the dad is not there at while the mother's having the baby, then guess what the baby's not getting during the very important. And here's the thing:
What is
those
the
are
baby not getting?
the baby is not getting that balance of even that love, because they feel that when
Yeah.
they're in the womb.
Yeah.
These are the very important stages of mind development.
Right.
So if you growing up, if you're being conceived and you come into this world with these two problem parents, or parents that are not together, the child's mind development is being developed as there's an absentee parent. There's a parent that's not giving the love in the behavior, the developmental behaviors that the child need to exist or to grow and to learn from. You know what I'm saying? So it's so important that we understand that we have to even this behavior of allowing ourselves to get into these abusive relationships or these narcissistical relationships. It comes from, I think it happens early on from conception. So we got to truly go back to where a lot of this stuff is imparted in,
Right.
and to be.
And that was a question that was asked. When it was a doctor, I forget her name. She was asked this question. She said, "Are narcissists made?" I mean, she was asked this question: "Are narcissists made, or are they?" I forgot the. Basically, is it nurture or nature? So the
Nurture versus nature.
the psychiatrist, she said basically they don't have a lot of study, as much study as they would like to have on the subject, but for the most part they are made. Are they born or are they made? And she said if she had to put a percentage on it, she would say like maybe 20% made. I mean, 80% made, 20% born, or maybe 90% made, 10% born. And that comes from the fact of not having that attention that the child needs when they are, I mean, think about it. This is a newborn. Someone who the world that they knew was inside a womb. And now all of a sudden they're in the world, and when they open their eyes, they see all new things, and it's big out here, right? So when they don't receive things that make them feel secure and safe in this new place, when they don't receive the attention and what they need, even from the age the first 5 years of life, then it's a problem. When they get older, they seek certain things. Like I know a young lady, she was raised in a foster care system, and she was used to being alone. She had trained herself that it was okay for her to be by herself. And she ended up in a relationship with a narcissist. She told me he was a textbook narcissist, right? She was fine though, because she never wanted to put herself in a place to love someone for someone not to love her back. So it didn't bother her that he would never be able to truly love her, because his thing was to keep sucking and sucking and sucking the life of everybody to lift him up so that he could feel like he's somebody, even at the expense of putting someone else down. But because it was almost like she was immune to the put downs and it didn't bother her and she didn't care about him being with her all the time and she had her own money and all that stuff, that it seemed like the perfect situation for her. She was content with the situation.
Yeah.
So we have to understand that a lot of times when we get involved in these relationships, give it time. Give it time, because the stuff that is broken in us, or the stuff, I'm not going to say broken, the stuff that we've experienced growing up, it will affect how we date and relate as we get older.
And do y'all know that a baby from the ages of from conception to the age of like 3 to 4, that the mind is developed 75% as an adult? The mind is developed that
75%.
fast.
75%. Wow.
The mind is developed that fast. The mind develops that fast until the age of 3 years old. It is more than halfway developed as an adult.
Wow.
That's why it is so important that we do not, that we be so careful. We are so careful of how our children are raised so that they don't get into these situations when they get older. Because as a child, and believe it or not, sometimes some people are really stuck at that place of development. They never get to the point of developing because of what happens.
Trauma.
To that fully development. They stop the experiences. And here's the thing too. Experience is what helps with development.
Yeah.
So if we as parents stop with our children, our experience, because we try to protect them, because that's what we do. We try to protect our kids from experience. Oh, no, I don't want my child to get hurt. I don't want to, no. So we stop them. Mm-hmm. And when we stop them, we stop the development.
Right.
This is what develops them, experience.
Because of what we went through.
Yes.
I don't want my child to go through
I don't want I will never spank my child because I was spanked. I will never do this with my child because it happened to me and it made me feel a certain way.
But see, what we have to do is think about that there are two extremes. I will never do this because this happened to me, or I'm going to make sure I do this because this happened to me. There are two extremes, but there's also health in the balance. So that's important too, to understand that I ain't gonna beat my kids because I got beat when I was older. So I promise I will never whoop my kids. That's an extreme.
Yes.
There's some ways that you can discipline your kids still in that balance. But let's.
Hey, I know we can come on. I'm gonna say this and we can move on. Hey, Vivian Ramos. Hey, thank you for tuning in with us. The thing is, what I'm saying is, I understand. The whole purpose is to really understand what a narcissist is, what I'm saying, and identifying if we are with a narcissist so that we know what to do. But my thing is to know what to do is understanding before you even get into relationships. Yeah. Because, understanding who you are, loving who you are.
You're getting ahead of us.
Oh, I'm getting ahead of us?
Okay,
okay, I'm sorry.
So the whole point is to know the characteristics, to know what the narcissist is attracted to, and to know what the narcissist is, who the narcissist is, so that now that you know that part, because you may not have known it before, now that you know that this is what you're dealing with, then we'll go into the solution. But let's keep going. The peekaboo narcissist, called the covert narcissist, they lack empathy just like any other overt narcissist as well, and they use guilt to shame you.
Yes.
They use guilt to shame you, okay? So that's the covert.
I call it the Michael Jackson syndrome. Never having a childhood experience, he yearned to experience said feeling as an adult, yet was marked as a pedophile. Absolutely. Absolutely, Mama.
Never grew up.
Never grew up. Never
That childhood,
never had those experiences to help him
that
develop.
childhood is very important. But in the event that you have someone who's over the age of 3, 5, or those very, very prevalent years, it's not too late. It's not too late. Okay, so the next narcissist we have is the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I named that one. They need a good to their bad, light to their darkness. And in their minds, you are the darkness and they are the light. To blame, I'm sorry, to them, one cannot exist without the other. That sounds a total opposite of what the word of God says. The God says light and dark cannot exist together. But this particular narcissist, it's like they know that there's something going on with them, right? So they'll get somebody who is the light, somebody who's good, somebody who's amazing and everything. And what they'll do is they'll get with that person, that strong person, that person that's got a nice little shape and pretty in the face and got a nice job and money or whatever the case. And what they'll do is they will contrast light and darkness. So all of a sudden, even though you straight, you good, you know how to think, you know what your mind, you trust yourself and all that stuff, they will make you distrust yourself. They will make you out to be the bad guy. It says here, they have the tendency to dim your light. They seek to overpower your strengths. They see defeating your strengths as a challenge, right? And they need to have a person they can conflict or contrast with. So they make an enemy out of you. So they have to make an enemy out of you, because if you're the enemy, that means I'm the good one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you out to be the bad guy. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to push it in to you enough that you'll start believing something's wrong with you. Standing up to them only plays into their desire to be the good person and make you out to be the bad person. I'm waiting for you to comment whenever you get ready.
I can interrupt.
No, don't act like we didn't already discuss this. He acted up. He acted up. Okay, go ahead. Anytime you got something.
Okay, got you. So thank you. Hallelujah. So, all right, but so here's the thing. Peekaboo, I see you. These are things, man. It's almost like
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is the one we are.
I know. I'm going to both of them. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Peekaboo, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, Felix the Cat, the Three Stooges. You know, these are all characteristics of someone who's preying on someone who has not understood their purpose, who has not understood who they are. And it is so easy to prey on these people. It is so easy. But this is one thing that I've noticed, and that I've, just understanding through my field of study, that development never stops.
Right.
It never stops. Development, even as an adult, even as an older adult, you still develop.
Still developing.
Development does not stop until you stop.
Right.
The nicest way to say it. But so this means that you can always get to a point where you're learning. So always take these experiences, and always take these things that you go through as development.
Yeah.
But don't stay there. Don't stay there. Because everything is a growth. Everything is growth. Even in God, it's growth. It's getting better.
Trials and tribulations come to make you strong. Better.
Yes, like the young lady who was on here. Hopefully, she wasn't a scammer, because I'm seeing a bunch of these scamming people.
Yeah.
For some reason, they're scamming us.
That's all right.
Y'all got to be careful though, y'all, because these are the holiday seasons where these scammers are really out trying to get into your information and stuff like that. But we come against that. But anyway, it's so important, y'all, that we really even like we should be wise about understanding the difference between somebody who's scamming who ain't. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Manipulation.
We should understand when somebody is scamming and who ain't, when somebody is has a motive and who ain't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. I thank God for them scammers. They actually helping us with this lesson today.
Right. What
Purge
about
your nature.
how do you feel about this one? Although you do all you can to show love and affection, you serve them and everything, but they will find a problem with you anyway.
What do you do about that? I mean, again,
I said, what do you think about that one? That's a part of what the Dr. and Jekyll and Mr. Hyde one would do.
yeah, but see, here's the thing. Like I said, if I'm in a situation where I'm not growing and I'm a problem, then this is not a situation that I need to be in, because it's always about a level of growth.
Yeah.
You can't be in a situation where you're considered a problem, because that is only feeding into what's weak, was the deficient inside of you anyway.
Right. And see, with a narcissist, that person is always gonna need someone else, especially in this case, to be the bad guy so they can look good. The whole purpose of the mission statement of the narcissist, if I had to make one up, is to use others to make me feel grand, to make me feel higher than I am. So that person will always need somebody in their life bigging them up, making them feel good about themselves, telling them how great they are, and all of that stuff. This is what they are. They can't help it. It's like a leech onto someone. They got to suck the blood until that person is no longer available to give them what they need. Then they throw that one away and find someone else.
And remember this too, this is not just in relationships, but they're in friendships. These are in jobships. These are in situationships.
You
these
can
are
find
in,
it everywhere.
These are in churchships. These are in pastorships.
Jobs.
These are in a whole bunch of ships. And I always say this: when that ship seems like it's sinking, after all of these ships, that you need to abandon ship.
Right, absolutely.
You need to abandon ship. And nobody is above reproach, and nobody is above reproof. Nobody is there. So even in the relationship, with your friends, no, everybody is developing. So there's no one that's more perfect than you. There's no one that's more or should be made to feel perfect, because we all in this together.
Unfortunately, though, this manipulation that is put on the person that's in a relationship with a narcissist is subtle. It comes off very, very clever, very charming in the beginning. It makes you feel loved, like you are like worthy. It's something that happens, like you fall in love. Like it's like, oh wow, this is nice. Like I've never had anyone treat me like this. And then when the hooks are in, that's when that narcissist flips and turns a different switch on. So it's like you're in love.
I understand.
Like you are enamored by this person, and all of a sudden they become something. And at first it's like, could be small, and it's like, well, hold up, I don't know what just happened. And you know how we question ourselves. So basically, yes, you should be able to see the signs, but a lot of times it's called manipulation for a reason. Do y'all know that manipulation is really called witchcraft?
Yes. So,
it's witchcraft.
So let's go back a little bit. Let's depict this a little bit.
Okay.
So this is why we have to give the information so people know. Do you? And I'm gonna start by asking this question: do you believe love is the reason that you exist in relationships? Whatever relationship it is, whether it's, do you believe love is the reason that you should exist in a relationship?
I don't believe it's the reason. I believe I desire to feel loved by the person I'm in a relationship with.
Explain why you don't think it's the reason.
Because I believe purpose is the reason why we should be in a relationship.
Yes.
It's a purpose that I serve.
But how tricky is that though? Because your purpose could be used for somebody who's trying to get what they can get from you.
That's why it's important, because look, in the times that we live in now, we have to understand it's out there. But that's why it's important for you to always, what the Bible say, pray without ceasing. Your powerful weapon is a connection to the one who knows everybody's heart, who knows what's in everybody's mind, who already saw the situation happen, because he sits high, he sees everything. Everything has already happened. Mm-hmm. So my purpose, especially because God gave me my purpose, I'm constantly gonna ask, okay,
Well,
what is this, Lord? What is this about? I like this guy. He cute. He seemed this and that. I mean, is this for me? And we have to not be so thirsty for love or for affection or for attention to the point where we'll listen to when God says yes or no.
So say that, and I like what Mama Cheeks put. She said that's why we should develop our discernment gift. And then she said we need to know that love is not a feeling but a choice.
A choice.
Absolutely.
Right.
And with that being said, I want to say this. This is why we have to have a connection with God, because a lot of times if we don't really understand his purpose for us even being connected with whoever we connect with, but that's why it says in all thy ways,
Right.
in everything.
Right.
Lord, what is the purpose for me even being connected to this person?
Absolutely.
Because if we don't find that out, then what we're going to do is we're going to look for our desire in the relationship.
Because the desires are real.
Because desires are
They're
real.
in there.
Yeah.
But the Bible also teaches us that we are drawn away from the right way of our own lust and entice. The desires we have trick us. You played yourself.
You played yourself. Exactly.
Yeah, the desires will trick you.
They will trick
into believing that that's the way you should go because it feels good. It must be right.
Yes.
But no.
Exactly.
It's not always the case.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I got from you.
Come on here.
Hey.
Come
All right, so let's keep it
on.
moving. Dr. Jekyll, and we only telling this because people need to know who they're dealing with. All right. Then we're going to come up with some solutions. Hopefully we'll get to that part. I pray we do. All right. So they make you out to be the problem while they never seem to do anything wrong in their own eyes. They don't never do nothing wrong. They perfect. So you perfect. And I'm the one. That's that person. Also, they need their ego esteemed, so they have to make you out to be the bad guy so they can contrast your imperfections to their false sense of perfection.
A false sense
of perfection. They have a false sense of perfection. So they'll make you out to be the bad guy and then look at all your imperfections and say, see, I'm better than that. I'm the good one. And look at you. Look at you. All right. Then the last thing I have is they need to contrast so they feel like they are superior. The goal is to feel superior because somewhere along the line in that 80 or 90% of who made them, the parenting, they did not feel superior. They felt inferior, or on the other extreme, because you remember they are always two extremes. Either they didn't get it or somebody gave it too much to them, made them feel like, oh, you're the princess, you're the little princess, and everybody bowed down to the little girl growing up, or the guy made him out to be, you the man. And then as they got older, it's like they needed that. So they need to feel superior. Okay? All right. Okay, and then another thing is they need you more than you need them. They need you. They need you. You will never find a narcissist alone. They cannot be alone. So they actually need you more than you need them. The reason they need you is different, but they do need you. They can't be alone, no matter what. Even if they have somebody in rotation, you acting up, and they call somebody, hey, what you doing? Making them feel good, thinking that you thinking about them, and they come over. Okay? It says, without the bad guy, they can't be the hero in their own fantasy. So if you gone, they made you out to be the bad guy. If you say, I can't take this, and you just ghost them, they cannot survive, because without you, they cannot be the hero in their own fantasy. Remember that, okay? Leaving them will make them have to face their own realities of emptiness. They don't want to do that. They will never, ever allow themselves to be put in a place where they have to face their own emptiness. They just cannot be alone. You are a distraction, actually. You're the distraction. Without you, they will have to face how miserable they truly are. And that's that's a no-go, not for a narc. That's a no-go.
You said a narc or a nuke?
A narcissist, that's a no-go.
A nuke.
Without the contrast they have created by putting you down, they will have to look at themselves, their emptiness, their misery, and their failure, and they would rather die than to be exposed to
Go
that.
ahead and free yourself.
They will rather die than be exposed to all their own misery and pain. So that's why they need you. They need you.
Go ahead and free
Okay?
yourself. Go ahead.
You got anything on that one, sir?
Go ahead and free yourself.
Definitely don't have the rights to that song.
Go ahead, free yourself.
All right, well, let's keep it moving then, since you joke, Mr. Jokey Joke. All right.
So
Because we got to get into the solution.
yeah, because yes.
I understand, but remember, we're talking about 3 different types
I
of.
got you.
This the last one.
I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I like to now deal with the solutions because it is so
We
important.
can't deal with the solution until we talk about the third one, babe. We got to give them the third one.
Okay, I understand that. I got you. Let me go here.
He said, "Babe, I'm gonna follow you."
I know, but we don't have that much time left, so we gotta. You know what I'm saying? You're not paying attention to the time, so we gotta
No,
move.
I kind of was.
I got
I
you.
am.
Okay, all right. Hey, come on, following you. I'm
All
sorry.
right. That you're forgiven. All right, so
Sorry.
the Grammy nominee Narcissist. You are there for convenience. It's like you're a trophy in their life. You're just there for them when you're out in public, for you to look good on their arm, for everybody to compliment how great y'all look together. But when you get home, they're dismissive. They put you on the shelf. Barely interact with you in private, but in public you are the thing that makes them look normal to other people. If the attention is taken off of them, though, if you get too many compliments, when you get home, you're going to get it. You embarrassed me. You didn't even do anything. Someone complimented you too much. Yeah, you was doing this and this and had these men, and now all of a sudden you the bad guy. When you get compliments while you're out, like I said, you get punished for it. You are in a sexless relationship. Well, I'm going to say marriage, because you shouldn't, according to the word of God, we shouldn't have sex before marriage, although, but so I'm going to say marriage. You are in a sexless marriage. There's no intimacy. And the reason why is they are not with you for this reason, only to make them feel normal to be in a relationship. If no one was there to love them, they would not have that validation they need for their own heightened sense of self. They hate you, but they want to keep you because they need you. See, that wasn't even that long. That wasn't even that long. We got to let the people know who they're dealing with. Now, we're talking about solutions. Come on, babe.
I got you. I just think the people, this is just me, because even before you know what you're dealing with, you got to know who you are to know what you're dealing with. So that's important to me, to let people understand who you are, what you need to stay involved with according to the scriptures, according to God. So it's important that we get to the place of loving ourselves.
Absolutely.
That's first and foremost. Secondly, you have to be a good steward over faith. You got to be a good steward over faith.
Wow.
You have to be a person who, okay, what do you mean when you say that? That means when you're a good steward over it, God, when God puts you in situations, you got to believe that he has you in this situation to grow you. Because it's morning by morning, new mercies. It's something new that we deal with every day. There's supposed to be a level of growth. So you have to have that good stewardship over the faith in the situation. So you gotta be able to handle that and take it like it is not there to destroy you, but it's there. Our trials come to do what? To make us strong. They don't come to put us down and make us feel like we need a whole nother feeling to take us through.
Okay, explain that.
We don't need feelings, because when we in situations, we have to have our feelings met. We have to have our feelings validated.
Yeah.
We have to have our feelings they have to be heard. They have to
Yeah.
be heard, met, and validated.
Yeah.
And this is what takes us through situations. But it's not about your feelings. It's about your good stewardship over faith to keep getting you through these situations and help you grow. So we have to realize that everything is not to destroy us. Secondly, we have to be a follower of Christ.
That's thirdly.
Thirdly, yeah. Well, that's first. First, you have to be a follower of Christ, but I'm just going in.
Right.
I'm not going in a chronological order. I'm going in just with how God is just telling me. You have to be a follower of Christ. You have to be a follower of Christ. Yes. Hey, Vanessa. Hey, Vanessa. What's going on? Girl, well, I hope your phone is right, because we've been calling you. Anyway. But yeah, you have to be a follower of Christ. Reason being is because if we don't get direction from him, we will put ourselves in our own plan, in our own desires.
Right.
We will put ourselves in situations that God ain't even got nothing to do with.
Mm-hmm.
That God don't have nothing to do with.
Nothing.
And sometimes we stay there. And when we stay there, God ain't in nowhere in that. And what we're doing is going back to what I said. We're fulfilling our feelings.
Yeah.
I need to feel this way, because again, how they come is they come giving us what we need.
Love bombing.
Yeah, they're coming to give us what we need. And when we're getting what we need, boom, you've been arrested by a whole nother spirit.
Sense.
A whole nother spirit.
Come here with the spirit.
A whole nother spirit.
Right.
You've been arrested by a whole nother spirit.
Because we're not battling with flesh and blood, baby.
Exactly.
It's a spiritual
this
thing.
This is a spiritual thing.
Yes.
We don't battle against flesh and blood.
Don't be deceived.
Yes, good evening, Sister Donella.
In their body, but it's a spirit that
you're fighting with. It's a spirit that you're fighting with and connecting to. A
come
whole
here.
nother spirit. So we gotta be careful about how we fulfill our desires.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying, think on these things. You know what I'm saying? Or every day and I know sometimes it's a lot of times it's hard. It's not hard, but we make it hard because we feel like sometimes we feel like it's just us that's going through it.
Yeah. So
when you have that mentality that it's me and you don't understand what I'm going through and such and such and such, I promise you there's somebody, like somebody said earlier, they had went through
a narcissistic
they went through a
relationship
narcissistic
and made
relationship and made it out. They lost their self-worth.
Yeah.
But my question is, did you ever have your self-worth? If you lost, because if you know who you are, if you know whose you are and who you are, how could you lose who you are? Now you can lose who you are, but I believe
it can be devalued.
It can be devalued only if you don't have that good stewardship, and you're not a follower of Christ.
You gotta get it.
You gotta get it. You gotta get it. You gotta get it deep. You gotta get it deep.
And I'm gonna tell you, it's interesting that you even
got you
put out there that you have to know who you are. Because one of the things, so I have this book by Gary Chapman. It's called Loving Solutions. Y'all listen, you should get this book because he have the solutions of how you practically get out of situations in this book. He has the verbally abusive spouse. He has the physically abusive spouse, the sexually abused and abusive spouse. He has the unfaithful spouse, the controlling. So it's irresponsible spouse. He has every type of spouse that you can name in this book. And he has different scenarios in here about what people go through in these toxic relationships and the solutions that you can take to get out of them.
And here's one thing that because sometimes, we do understand that behavior is hard. Sometimes making a change is hard, but it's not hard when one thing my wife and I are learning is consistent behavior. So if you're practicing positivity and practicing certain mechanisms to help stir you away from the spirit that you've connected to.
Yeah.
And first of all, you have to come to realization that I've connected to this. So what you have to do is now practice disconnecting yourself if it's not hard, because it could be hard. You may see yourself like, boom, getting wheeled back in. But it's just about practicing positive behavior for yourself.
for
Practicing.
yourself.
Yes.
And that's what he says in this book.
Wow.
Can I read something real quick?
Okay, go ahead.
All right,
Wow.
so we talking on under the verbally abusive spouse, right? He has loving solutions there for them. He says affirm the need and reject the behavior. We talked about that one time on the show. And an example is this. I know you must be terribly frustrated to speak to me in that manner. I wish you could share the pain you feel inside. I know it must be intense. Too, cause you lash out at me so strongly. I would like to be a help to you, but I can't help you when you express your hurt and anger in such a destructive way. Wow. He shows you, okay, so that's an example, because sometimes people need examples. How do I do it? Then he says the second way solution is believe in the worth of your partner. Example, I know the good qualities that are there. Sometimes I lose the vision when I am hurt by your attacks, but I know the kind of man you are, and I believe in that man. So right here, she's believing in his worth. So she's not fluffing him up. She just helping him understand. I see your worth. I know it's there. The next one.
That was one thing that I was going to say before you read that.
Yeah.
Because I don't like to just I don't want to like I'm attacking a narcissist, because it's not even about that.
Right.
Because I believe everybody in a situation needs help, and they need God.
Absolutely.
So not only does the victimized or the person need help, but the one who is giving the behavior needs help as well.
Exactly.
So we have to be that source, and well, not the source, but the person that leads them to the source. And make sure, and that's that before I was going to say that practicing that behavior, like practice leading them to God. Okay, look, read your word today, or sowing scriptures in them. You know what I'm saying? Doing stuff that's going to help them to change their behavior. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think
it
that's
says
important.
share your own feelings. We do not help an abusive spouse when we act as though the harsh words do not hurt us.
Yeah.
The answer is to acknowledge that we have been wounded and we need help. It says, the verbal attacks that I have heard from you have brought me tremendous pain, and I'm not sure how I should respond. I really want to have a positive relationship with you, but when I am hurting so deeply, it is hard to be responsive. I've made an appointment with the counselor. And then it goes on and on to give you different examples as to how to speak to that person who's abusive. And the last one is agree on a strategy. As you know, I talked with you in the past about how deeply I am hurt when you lash out at me with critical and demeaning remarks. It takes me a day or some days or even sometimes weeks to get over the pain that I feel on those occasions. I have decided, listen to this is you setting a boundary for yourself. I have decided that the next time you lose your temper and begin to yell at me, I will take some time away from you in order to recover. I think my healing will be faster if we are apart. I wanted you to know what I'm doing. I will not be abandoning you, but I am trying to take constructive action to what has become a very destructive pattern in our relationship. So if you are dealing with any kind of abuse in your relationship, I highly recommend this book. Dr. Gary Chapman, he's also the author of The 5 Love Languages. It's called Loving Solutions, and he has some great solutions because his motto as a therapist is one of the myths of a relationship that's unhealthy is either to succumb to it or walk away. And he said, you don't have to walk away. There are loving solutions that you can put into practice if you are desiring to stay in that relationship and work it out, because God can do that.
I say, go ahead and free yourself.
Yeah, but, yeah.
Listen, no. Fantasia. That's right.
No.
I'm a Fantasia fan. I'm lying.
No, you're not. So, I mean, not that something's wrong with her.
No, not because I love her. I'm just,
but at the end of the day, there are loving
person,
solutions. There are loving solutions because everybody not trying to walk away. Some people says, I love him. I want to stay, or I love her. I don't want to leave this relationship, but I just don't know what to do. This is an awesome resource.
Amen. Listen, y'all. If this content has been a help to you and has been a fire to you, like it, share it, subscribe, share, like, and share. We got. Listen,
As a
y'all.
matter of fact, if you own right now, everybody take some time to to give a thumbs up. And
Yeah,
then
some hearts, some likes,
once you do the hearts and likes,
some
they
likes
got
and
it
hearts.
so easy for you to do now. It's right there by the comments or whatever. Once you do that, just say I shifted. Put it in there. Mother Cheeks, you already put I shifted. Once you like this podcast, put I shifted. And if you share it, that's even great. That's even better. Because we want people to understand not only not only who they're dealing with, how they're dealing with it, and then how to get
Yes.
solutions
And listen, y'all.
to it.
We want you guys to enjoy the holiday. You know what I'm saying? This is the very important time to spend time with family. Enjoy your family. Most of all, enjoy Jesus, but enjoy your family.
That's right, my
Enjoy
because
your
she
family.
shifted. Yeah,
Enjoy your families, man. Enjoy your families.
absolutely.
Eat, and be merry, and man, enjoy the holidays because this year is over.
It's
over.
almost over, guys.
It's over.
But listen,
next year is tomorrow.
Aunt Grace, how you doing? Tanisha Walls, she shifted. Mother
Hey,
Carolyn
Mother
says,
Carolyn.
"I shifted, precious. We love you, Mother
We love
Carolyn.
Mother Carolyn.
We
She's one of the mothers of shift, man.
we need
Yes.
some more I shifted. We need to see you shifting because that's what it's gonna take. God is doing a shift, and we want you to be a part of it.
Yes, but we love you guys, man. That is our time. Be looking out for us, man. We got some things coming up. Definitely, I'm about to release a single. I'm excited about my single I'm about to release, man. I'm featuring my sons on there, and they blowing, man. So look
Yeah.
out for it, man. I'm doing some stuff, man. So y'all keep us in your prayers, man. Support us. Support us.
Hi.
So, Liza, you
She
snuck on.
shifted.
Liza,
All right,
how's Mama Pearly now? We haven't seen her.
Baby,
I'm sorry.
call her.
Okay, I don't
Call
have her
her.
number.
I have it.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
we need to call her.
So,
Check on her.
guys,
I ain't seen her in a
Until
minute.
next time, I'm your girl, Lady Free,
I'm your boy, Pastor J.
and we love you. Mwah. Peace.
Thanks for watching.